Hey guys, this is 905 sort array by Parity. And for this question, they want us to take an input A, an array, and they want us to put all of the even integers on the left-hand side and all of the odd integers on the right-hand side. So this can be solved in a lot of different ways. We can do array list, just regular list, even hash sets. But I feel like if a recruiter is going to ask you this question, they're going to want you to do this question using in-place sorting. So today we'll go over that. Now, the way in-place sorting works is that you want 2 pointers, one to keep track of the odd integer and one to keep track of the even integer. So to start off with, we can make a for loop to express that. And we need 2 pointers. So we have an int j equals 0 and comma I equals 0. And we want to traverse the a dot length. And increment j. So whenever you increment j, just kind of note down that the j is going to be incremented every single time in the for loop. So we don't really have control of that, but we have control of when we want to increment I. That's going to come up later. And before I start coding the algorithm out, I'm going to kind of whiteboard it and do it case by case so it's easier to understand. So we're going to separate it into 2 cases. And the cases is going to be what aj is equal to. And aj is going to be this number right here when we traverse it. So let's say that if aj is even and aj is odd. So if aj is odd, this is case B. If aj is odd, all we want to do is we want to increment j. So looking at our for loop, that's going to happen automatically. So for the case B, we don't really have to write any code for that. Now, if it's even, we want to first swap aj, then we want to increment j and increment I. And this will give us our answer. If you guys don't understand what's happening yet, that's okay. After I explain this table, it should make a lot more sense. So we can go through sorting this step by step. So j and I, they start off as 0. And why is that? Because we initialize them to be 0 in the for loop. So we can do j is 0 and index I is 0. Now, a index j, that's going to be 3, and so is a index I. Now, the case tells us that if aj is even, we're going to swap, but in this case, it's odd. So we're going to increment j. So we don't want to swap at all. And the array actually stays the same. So we increment j, and I stays the same. And now a index j is going to be 1. A index I is still going to be 3 because it hasn't changed yet. So now we check if it's odd or even. aj is still odd, so we don't do anything. We just keep on going. And now since it was odd, we increment j. So aj now is going to be 0, 1, 2. It's going to be 2. And ai is going to be 3. Now we have an even. And we have an even, we have an odd. So the case is if it's even, we want to swap aj with ai. And we can do that here. So 2, 3. And now it's going to look, so we put a 3 right there, and we put a 2 right there. And now we keep going. So for this case, it said that if it was even, we increment I and j. So these 2 get incremented, 3 and 1. So now aj is going to be 4, and a index I is going to be 1. So now we do swap because a index j is even. So 1 and 4. And we can show that here. And then have to swap the other one too. Okay. That was confusing, but I just took this one and swapped it. Yeah, and that still works. So this proves that these two cases work, and now all we have to do is that we have to code it up. So the first case is going to be if A index j is even. So how do we show that? Simple if statement. We can do A index j mod 2. So this just proves if it's even. And then we just follow the cases. We swap and we increment I, increment j. This we don't have to do. We don't have to increment j because it does that automatically within the for loop. So we just swap it. And temp equals A index I. So this is successfully swapped. And now the last case is, or the last part of it is increment I. And to do that, all we have to do is right there. And now we just return A, and this should be our answer. And there we go, we got it.